Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5X. And yes, this is the Birdo Prey 5X channel. And I apologize greatly that I did not get to do Bed Life last night on Friday. I will still make up Bed Life somehow this weekend. But for right now, this morning, I figured we would go ahead and do the deer bops, because we don't want the deer bops to get too backed up, just in case anybody actually has some serious issues that they might need some looks at. So good morning, Hector. Good morning, Carlo. Kapla. I am well. I got some decent sleep. My Picard review of episode 7 did well. I was scared that it was just gonna flop because I released it so late. But to be completely honest, it's doing pretty good. It's got a higher click rate, a higher view rate for a video that's been only released about 12 hours now, 13 hours, maybe it's closer to 12 hours. It's actually performing pretty well. We'll see what happens with the weekend. I suspect it will slow down quite a bit, but it's not doing too shabby. I hope people enjoyed it. Those videos take a lot more time, and I don't get me wrong. I completely respect anti-tricker and people who do their reviews and they come on and they just talk about the episode and their feelings for 6 or 7 or 8 minutes. Maybe they put in a clip or two and then that's it and they're done. When I do my reviews, I can't do that. I've got to, I want to show every specific point I want to make. I wanted to put in as much clips, video, I wouldn't say trivia, but as much extra info as possible, and that stuff just takes time. And the trouble with this last video was that I started working on 2 different videos, and I ended up a couple hours in just saying, no, this isn't working, and starting fresh. So I really didn't even start this video until the afternoon of Thursday, when you would usually start Thursday morning, and all the work I did Thursday morning I ended up throwing out because I was on, if I'd kept going that route, it probably would have been an hour-long video. And frankly, that's just too long. Even as it was at 31 minutes, it's my longest Picard review to date. And the hour-long reviews, some people might find them fun, but they don't do nearly as good. So a little background on why we're here. So again, thank you, Carlo. Welcome, Hector. Richie Poole says good morning. Good morning, Richie. And Richie, I saw your video. Richie Poole uploaded a video from a concert he went to. I never got into concerts, but still very cool. People should check out Richie Poole. Hector says hi to Richie and Carlo. Carlo says hi to Hector. Chris Purser says, Kapla Bird, your Pente review was good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Some people thought it was a little too nitpicky, and I understand, because especially since my first 6 reviews were generally positive reviews, I would say this was my first negative review of Picard. So I did expect that there would be some people pushing back. And because I figured the people who really hated Picard, if they were still watching, they weren't going to mind. But the people who were only watching because they loved Picard, they might get annoyed. But so listen, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I just got to call them how I see them. Sometimes I'm going to agree with you. Sometimes I'm not. I spoke to one person who told me that they rated every episode of Picard a 10. And then they went on to say they also rated every episode of Discovery a 10. And I'm like, I'm happy for them. But it's just like, well, if you honestly think every episode of Discovery was a 10 and every episode of Picard is a 10, then why are you wasting time reviewing them? I mean, or even assigning a number. It's clear. What would they have to do to not get a 10? I don't know. But for me, I just call them as I see them. So obviously, I'm not going to keep everyone happy all the time. Resolute Germ says, good morning. Good morning, Resolute Germ. Not Ryan Johnson says hello and kapla. Richie Poole says, I hope your Picard E7 video has a higher transmission rate than the coronavirus. Well, thank you, Richie Poole. I hope so too. Cinnabon Bunny says hello. Good morning, Cinnabon Bunny. Carlo says, it was a good video. I'd like to hear your opinion. Thank you. Thank you. And Carlo says, keep the kill count going. Oh, definitely. Not only is the kill count going to keep going, but at the end of the series, which is really just what it was, episode 7. So we have three more episodes, 8, 9, and 10. So a month from now, I will probably be putting out my final season 1 total kill count. That will have all the kills from the first 5 episodes plus these last 5. So that should be of interest or interesting. Actor says a long review for a long episode. Yeah, the fact that it was an hour-long episode, I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining it was an hour long. But definitely, that extra 15 minutes of content, you feel it. Reggie Pools is Bird of Prey. I haven't watched your Picard review yet. So you have at least one more view coming your way. Thank you so much, Richie Poole. Actor says hashtag bunny corn lives matter. Indeed. For the bunny corns, Richie Poole. We're not going to give it spoilers away, but hashtag the bunny corn lives matter. That's all you need to know. Mr. Londel's Groovy Movies says kapla, Mr. Londell. Good morning. Richie Poole says, what is the Picard body count to date? 46. Now, this one, I'll be honest, this was the hardest episode to count the bodies in. We went from 33, I believe, to 46. Wait, let's see. There was 8, 12, 13. There was 13 or 14 bodies in this episode, and it was very hard to count. One I almost completely missed until my last viewing of it. And I was like, oh shit, there's another one. And I'm still not 100% sure I got them all. Like this was the first episode where I'm not 100% confident that it's actually 46. It could be, I would give myself a ±1 range on this episode. I think it's 46. I think I did a good count. But there's a chance. That's all I'm saying. There's a chance. I would be open to somebody disputing it, and I would look into their evidence and change my mind if presented, if I saw the evidence. But some people are telling me there were multiple pizzas, and I didn't see any reference to multiple pizzas. So if there's some timestamp where you can say, hey, there's the second pizza, then I'll accept it. But I'm sorry. He clearly only cooked one pizza in the oven. So even if there is a second pizza, you tell me he made the pizzas one at a time. So then there was a soggy, shitty pizza and then a good pizza. So who got the good slices and who got the soggy, shitty slices of pizza? But I didn't even see a second pizza. In fact, the oven wasn't wide enough for two pizzas. It was a small oven. I suppose one could have pushed back further in, but we only saw him put one pizza in the oven. So I'm not relenting on the pizza count. Carlos says, I enjoy Discovery less and less. If it was only set in the same time as Picard, it might be okay. It's not Star Trek you can watch over and over again. I did enjoy Discovery, but Picard is really goodish. I will grant you Picard is, to me, infinitely better than Discovery. Now, I don't get me wrong, I'm certainly somebody who also says if Discovery was set post TNG, post Nemesis, then certainly some of the biggest problems of the show would be gone. Mostly the technology. If they said it post Nemesis, I would still complain a little about just the ridiculousness of Spore Drive, but I could understand it. Obviously, Michael Burnham wouldn't have been able to be Spock's sister, but there's no reason she couldn't be Spock's daughter or somehow else related to Spock. But the other problems with Discovery would not be fixed. And frankly, I think, although the time issue, the technology issue is a big one, the other problems with Discovery is just that, A, it's the Michael Burnham show, and that wouldn't be fixed regardless of what time it took place in. And two, is that its writing seems to suck, and not only does it suck, it contradicts itself. I mean, from episode to episode, they don't even follow their own canon. So that also wouldn't be fixed if they moved it to post a post Nemesis timeline. So I will say it would be better, but it still wouldn't be. I still don't think Discovery would be watchable to me. I mean, let's say watchable is relative, because I watch every episode, and I'm going to watch every episode. If they go 3 seasons or 5 seasons or 10 seasons, I'm going to watch every episode of Discovery. I might not like it, but I at this point, I intend to watch them all because it says Star Trek on it. And I have to at this point. And it would, like I said, it would be better, but it would be far from perfect. It would be far from even good, even if it was post Nemesis, because its biggest problems come more to being centered on Michael Burnham being the bestest ever, all other men being talked down to for the most part, which happens in Picard too, but at least Picard has a decent story. And for the most part, Picard follows canon, but this past episode, one of the reasons it got its low score is because it started ignoring its own canon, and that's a very dangerous thing to do. Did I read that? Yes, I did. Actor says, yeah, the Borg cube is really dark. Elrond light fatality rate is hard to discern. Yeah. That was one. I'm not sure. I think he killed 3 Romulan guards, but it could have been 4. Joe Lau says, Kapla, Bird, and family. Thank you, Joe Lau. Good morning. Richie Poole. Oh, for you, Joe Lau, it might be late. Richie Poole says, Bird of Prey, I know it's a gray hair, but your profile pic looks to me like Chang has Borg implants. I could see it. I could see that. Yeah. Maybe I should darken his hair. I darken the background. Resolute Germ, how the hell did this bird get from dead bodies to pizza? Well, because my complaints with this Picard episode, although body count was 1, one of the biggest things that annoyed me was serving 5 adults, 4 adults and a teenager from a tiny pizza that, it just, the math doesn't add up. Carlos says, how do you burn a tomato, Bird of Prey? I think you've had experience with this. Okay, I can burn a tomato if the other stuff around it burns, but just the tomato. The tomato is one of the most moist pieces of a pizza. That would be the last thing to burn. The bread, the cheese, those things would burn. The tomato is basically just water.
I'm not going to try it.
Mama Prey says she's not going to try it, but...
No, but
oh,
I'm telling you, I'm not going to...
Oh, you're not going to try burning a tomato?
No, a pizza.
Oh, you're not gonna try burn? Well, you can burn a pizza, obviously,
With
but
the tomato one.
yeah,
I'm
no.
not doing the
Right?
experiment.
No, we're not experimenting with it. Actor says the bread oven can make pizza in 5 minutes. You never had pizzas made in one. No, I mean I've had brick oven pizza, which is, I mean that wasn't a brick oven, that was a smoker, but it should take well more than 5 minutes. I mean, hell, even a pizzeria place with their, commercial pizza ovens, which gets up to super hot temperatures, they can't make pizza in 5 minutes. Carlos says if black smoke shows from the chimney, the pizza is burnt. Yeah, well, the rest of the pizza seemed to be fine. But also, if black smoke shows from the chimney, I think there's a new pope. So maybe that was
Isn't that
white smoke. I don't know. Maybe that was symbolism that they had just elected a new pope in Picard, or they had yet to elect a new pope. Burned beyond credibility, says Hector. I gotcha. Carlos says Janeway's greatest experiment. The spore drive would have been good. Yes. It would have come in handy. Actor says Berto Prey 5X. Do you think they will bind Picard to STD, making Control the future baddie the Romulans are trying to avert? I do. Whether it's called Control or not, I think it's already tied to STD. Aberjam says Berto Prey 5. McClunky. So you stand me up on Friday night, and today you wait until I'm out shopping before you come on. I'm disappointed. No reach around for you. Well, you know what, Aberjam? That's fine. I don't request you should be in any position to even do a reach around. But I'm sorry you're out shopping, although thank you for stopping by. And Aberjam, of course, makes the best music. And the only problem is he's apparently being held in Kurdistan, and he thinks he's in Caroga. But
he thinks she's out shopping.
well, yeah, you're out shopping, so that's proof he's not being held in Caroga, and he never was. Carlos is Berta Prey. Do you think Picard will end this story this season, or do you think there'll be a story that will last 4 seasons planned? Oh, I don't think we're going to get a solid ending. I think we're going to get a cliffhanger ending. I think they might answer one question, but there'll be like a new baddie or something. Like the Romulan story will end, but the Borg's story will start. And I do believe that we're going to switch bad guys from Romulans to Borg at the end of the season. That's my guess. Also, and this was something a couple of people mentioned in the comments from my video, and it was something I was thinking of too, but I didn't dare mention, is that this so-called captain. Oh, and this is a slight spoiler, but it's not doesn't really spoil anything. I'm just gonna say, so there is a captain that people speak of that only Troy and Riker's daughter has met in person, who lives on, I don't know, the other side of Nepenthe or some distance from Riker and Troy's house, that they've never met him, but the daughter has. And his name is Captain Crandall. And the daughter is very enamored. What's that word I'm thinking of? Anyway, the daughter's very taken by him. He's like a hero to her. He says he's been everywhere across the galaxy, from Kronos to Tychon's Rift, and she thinks he's just like the bestest person ever. And we haven't seen who Captain Crandall is, although we do know his first name is Rubert Crandall, as Riker calls him. So I don't know, maybe Riker has met him, maybe he hasn't. I'm kind of thinking he hasn't. He just knows of what the daughter's been talking about. And I think that this Rupert Crandall is going to show up like either in the last episode or at the very peak of the season, whenever that comes, like when it's their darkest hour. Rambit Crandall is going to show up. And I think he's going to be someone we know. I think he's going to be living under a fake name. Now, somebody suggested it could be William Shatner. And I was like, well, amazingly that would be. I don't think they could pull it off. I don't think they pull it off. I'll be honest. I did think about it, like what if that was Shatner, Kirk living on that planet, and he just changed his name so that nobody would ask questions. And, he took an interest in Kestra and gave her an old compass, because he does have, Kirk always liked classic things. Riker was not into classics, but Kirk was. And Kirk would love living that type of life. I mean, off the grid type of, log cabin life, that would be right up Kirk's alley. So I thought of him, but like, okay. And then for William Shatner to go around this last week telling everybody he's out, he's never going to be in Star Trek again. Well, isn't that a convenient timing if he knows he's about to show up in Star Trek? But I just don't think they could hide it. So then my next guess, well, if it's not Kirk, then who else could it be? And I went to James Doohan, to Scotty. Now, James Doohan had died, obviously, but Scotty is alive in the TNG universe, because Scotty showed up in Relics, which I believe was a season 7 episode or something. I think it was a later episode. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a middle episode. It wasn't a first or second season episode. Had to be at least season 3. It could have been later. Anyway, he shows up in TNG, and so he spent 80 years in a transporter. So he didn't age for 80 years. So he's very well likely to be alive still in Picard. Incredibly old, but, possibly alive. And while they can't have James Doohan reprise his role, they could take Simon Pegg from the JJ movies and age him with makeup. And I would not put it past them. I mean, Simon Pegg and Alex Kurtzman and have a good relationship. I mean, JJ, Alex Kurtzman, Simon Pegg, they all work together. They all know each other. They're all buddy. And I think they could totally put Simon Pegg in some older makeup and bring him in as Scotty. And he could be Captain Crandall. And he could, end up showing up in the end. Just for the member berries. I also think it could be Q. Q was a possibility, but why would Q be living like a solid, like an earthling, like a human? Q was harder to justify, but they're all possibilities. Miss Lundell says the writers of STD don't have a grasp of the fundamentals of writing, let alone the fundamentals of writing Trek. I agree. The STD writers certainly do not. The Picard writers are definitely better. Although I imagine, I don't know how much of this was Michael Chabon and how much of this was after Chabon. Because, we don't know. No episode is only written by one person. They all have at least 2 writers accredited to them, and some had a lot more. So God only knows what happened after Chabon left. People had talked about how Chabon had put in calls to the old Trek, and people came in and then started removing them because they didn't want to pay licensing fees or something. I don't know. I don't know how much of that is true, but I wish we'd get an answer one day as to how much of this has been altered before we saw it. Captain Track says Bird of Prey 5X. Kapla, not Bird of Prey 5 here. Someone even more awesome here. Oh, thank you. Wait, what? You're saying Bird of Prey 5X is more awesome than Bird of Prey 5? I can live with that. Thank you. And thank you, Captain Track. Yesterday, Captain Track dropped my channel name, a link into Stone Loki's morning stream. And guys, Stone Loki, if you guys don't, he does a morning stream at 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Stone Loki. So check him out if you haven't. I'm almost always there, unless I'm super busy in the morning. I'm usually at his stream. Actor says, Aberjam, how's the dead Klingon next to you looking today? Martok isn't there or dead, and Aberjam is out there shopping. Oh, we got a lot of chats. Okay. Richie Pools is my 2 least favorite pizza toppings, anchovies and bunny corn meat. Yeah, I'd say those definitely up there. Carlo says, let me just check and make sure that that wasn't incredibly important. Doesn't appear to be. Okay, no. Looks like people commenting on my Facebook posts. And as we get closer to the election, I expect I'll get more comments. Sorry. Carlos says, I thought the tomato fell off the pizza and burnt, but then you can see them pull it off the pizza. Yeah, it looks like you can see them pull it off the pizza. And I mean, first, when the pizza was being prepared and Soji tilted her head, and I apologize, apparently I missed, she did the head tilt several times in the series already. I didn't take notice of her ever doing it before. But she tilted her head and looked at the ingredients. There were only like 4 slices of tomato on the pizza, and they were all pretty centered on the pizza. None of them looked like they were even anywhere close to the edge. Joe Lau says, Bird, they are not hungry, and the tomato is not an earth tomato. Well, I mean, Troy calls it a tomato. Have you ever had a tomato before? It looks like an earth tomato. I have all reason to think it's earth tomato. And then the basil growing everywhere, that's not native to Nepenthe. They called that, what do they call it, Andorian basil or something? It wasn't Nepenthe basil. So I think they just plant, plants all over. They don't care what planet the plants come from. Miss Lundell says the pizza snafu can be blamed on the prop department. All they had to do was make the damn thing bigger in the first place. Well, then they would have needed a bigger oven. Okay, or they could have put 2 pizzas in, but whatever. Aberjam says chimney. Did I say chimney? I guess I meant chimney, but I don't even remember saying chimney. Hail Caroga, Sci-Fi Nation, Kapla. Hail Caroga. I was on Sci-Fi Nation's stream for about 20 minutes last night before I fell asleep. Aberjam says hey to Captain Track. Carlo says hi to Mamo Pray. Mamo prays. Mamo prays. Mamo prays says hello to Carlo and everyone. Sci-Fi Nation says Bird of Prey. Let the missus up. Oh, she wants to come on? Okay, let me get the link. Let's see. I am tweeting it to you, Sci-Fi Nation. I'm not posting the link for everybody right now because I would like to eventually get to the Dear Bops, but yeah, I sent the link to your Twitter, Sci-Fi Nation. If that is the question, we can certainly arrange that. Mr. Lundell says enamored. Yes, enamored. That was the word. She was enamored with Captain Crandall. Reggie Pools is Bird of Prey. Thanks for watching my video. A rock concert video doesn't do much for my nerd cred and hurts my chances of achieving nerd certifications on Anti-Tricker's site. But what the hell? What the hell indeed. Before I got serious about YouTube, I put all types of videos up. 47 Yorktown says, good morning, young sir. Good morning, 47 Yorktown. Wow, I'm surprised. We got a good group this morning. I wasn't sure anybody would be awake or who wouldn't be shopping. Actor says, Bird of Prey, what's the final word on Commodore O's sunglasses? Do Shaban being mysterious about it amounts to anything? No, I don't think it amounts. I don't think it has anything to do with the mirror universe. Because Shaban himself said that it was basically that she just, she looked at Earth history and saw that, secret police or law enforcement often wore sunglasses. And so she figured do as the Romans do and put on sunglasses. I don't think there's anything hidden to it except for the fact that she thought she looked more intimidating. And I guess to a point she did. Aberjam says, Bird of Prey, the Carogan dungeons have the best selection of victuals. Roadkill, raccoon, cockroach bites, and sewage stew. I'll be back in my cells soon, though. Well, you see, if that's the food you're being served, you're definitely in Kurdistan. None of that is served in Caroga, not even to prisoners. Captain Track is saying, Aberjam, no problem. Richie Poole is saying, greetings to Sci-Fi Nation, who says it back. Actor says, Aberjam, UK, chimney is proclamation made by Dick Van Dyke in the Mary Poppins movie, Carogan version. Chimerney. Richie Bull says, maybe Simon Pegg. Exactly, Richie Bull. I hadn't even read your comment yet, but that was exactly where I was going. James Doohan dead. Simon Pegg, friend of the producer. Miss Lundell says, Bird of Prey, how can Crandall be Kirk? If Kirk fell off a bridge, it can't be Scotty. Scotty is retired and living on a planet of grumpy old single men. Well, maybe that planet is Nepenthe. Maybe Scotty is like, F this. He just bought a boat. No. Maybe he's like, I'm going to go to Nepenthe. They've got rejuvenating soil. And maybe he won't even be old. Maybe it'll be just Simon Pegg. I'd say, yeah, the soil rejuvenated me. I don't know why it didn't work for Riker and Troy. Don't have to ask those types of questions. How can it be Kirk, Ms. Londell? They don't even have to explain it. Picard could be like, I buried you. And he'll be like, I know. Thank you. I went and visited my body. It was very strange. And you don't even have to answer the question. How could it be Kirk? There's so many ways it could be Kirk. It could be Kirk from a parallel universe. It could be Kirk out of the Nexus. It could be a clone of Kirk. I mean, God knows. God knows what could have happened. It could have been Kirk, some ancient alien that Kirk had an encounter with, loved Kirk so much they brought him back to life. Who knows? Q could have snapped Kirk back to life because he was the only one who would be able to help Picard. Actor says Scotty and Picard 200 years old or more, but Hector, Scotty stopped aging for 80 years. So what would he be, like 120? Granted, that's old, but it's certainly within the realm of possibility, especially since they went out of their way. I don't know if you had heard the line, but in the episode, Kestra went out of the way to say that Captain Crandall is even older than Picard. So it has to be somebody older than Picard. Carlos is Bird of Prey. In a book, Kirk's body was beamed up by the Romulans and cloned so they could use the same premise. Well, you see, it could be done. Richie Pools is back bring back older Scotty and his life partner, the little engineering friend. No. If we bring in Simon Pegg, I don't want to see that goddamn rat boy or whatever it is he ran around with. Resolute Germ says, I'd support Pegg being in it because that would further the evidence that Picard is the Kelvin timeline. I know. Chris Perzer says, I have a sinking feeling that Captain Crandall will be Janeway using a pseudonym. Well, except that they do refer to him as he. Kestra does use male pronouns. I was already thinking if it could be a woman, but no. It could be. Don't get me wrong. They mistakenly refer to people as he when they haven't seen them, but Kestra has seen them and still refers to him as a he. So I would imagine it's a guy. Actor says Carlo. The Palpatine solution. Yes. Actor says Bird of Prey has an X, so it's got to be better. Understood. And just FYI, guys, when I'm on StreamYard, you don't have to put in the X if you @ Bird of Prey 5, because frankly, it doesn't highlight in StreamYard. So I just read all the comments anyway. If it's easier to, then by all means, keep doing so. But only in StreamYard is it really not that big of an issue. And only on a day like today where I don't have the chat up in another window. Richie Poole says, is Vulcan still there or was it destroyed? That could confirm which timeline. Well, Vulcan is still there because this is a TNG timeline. Vulcan was still there in TNG. We know this continued from TNG. There's no question Vulcan is still there. Carlos says, but I think they made Kirk to try to kill Picard. Well, whatever. The Romulans' plans don't always work out. Good morning to Chris Purser, excuse me. Actor says, Richie Poole, I think they're actively avoiding that kind of dissonance as showing any Klingon. Yeah. Chris Purser says, Captain Track, good morning to you too. Chris says, I have a theory that the burnt tomato was a Turkestan variant, unlike Carogan tomatoes that were just fine. That could be. Turkestani tomatoes are almost burnt when they come off the vine. And Jesus Christ, had Soji bit into a Turkestani tomato, you don't want to know what would have been inside. I didn't notice the head tilt, but my mate said it wasn't so pronounced, but she did it a couple of times when thinking. Oh, that is exactly what I was thinking. It was like, if she did the head tilt, there was no way it was as pronounced as what they did in this episode, because of this episode, it was unmissable. Carlos's bird of prey, the camera was on top of the second pizza. Do you have a timestamp, Carlo? I would love to see this. I mean, I've watched the episode like 3 or 4 times. I could watch it again looking just for the pizza, but I would love to see a timestamp so I could say, okay, I was wrong. Richie Poole says, we shall see, Hector. Time will tell. The writers have to kick longtime Star Trek fans in the nuts every now and then. Vulcan's destruction. Well, there's no way Vulcan was destroyed in this series. Captain Trek is Bird of Prey 5X. We need more Mama Prey streams. She is the best. Thank you, Captain Trek. She has heard you, but I will remind her every so often. Cinnabon Bunny says, Riker never makes enough food. In the egg episode, he tried to feed 6 people on 2 eggs. Well, if I remember, nobody wanted to eat them but Worf, so I guess he made enough. Joe Lau says, tofu pizza they will need. Well, you don't need tofu if you're eating bunny corn. Jeff Franklin, Kapla, Berto Prey, Kapla, Jeff Franklin. And he says hi to Captain Trek. And Carlos says Picard might be in the same timeline as Discovery and Enterprise, but not Kelvin. The Kelvin timeline was made from Picard's and is different. The question is Picard in the same as TOS and TNG, but then Discovery? I will grant you that is closer to the question. Like Discovery, I don't think Enterprise and Discovery are in the same timeline. I know Anti-Trekker likes to say that, but I don't. I think Discovery is in its own separate timeline, apart from Enterprise and apart from the rest of the shows. So Anti-Trekker has his triple timeline theory. So I guess I would make a quadruple timeline theory, because I think Enterprise is off on its own timeline. Discovery and Picard, I think, are in their own timeline. I can say, and I'll grant you, we still see the TNG, but it doesn't mean that what happened on TNG didn't happen very similar in the Discovery Picard timeline. It just, we saw in parallels in TNG, there were millions of possible timelines, each with just minor differences. So there's no reason that the Picard timeline couldn't be virtually indistinguishable to the timeline of TNG. And, they could still look back and it would look like the Enterprise. And then any little mistake, like 10 forward being on the wrong part of the ship, well, then you could say, well, that was just one of the little things that was different in this timeline. Jeff Franklin says, Bird of Prey. So who are prisoners in Caroga? Well, only hardened criminals are actually prisoners in Caroga. Carlos's discovery would be 2. Jeff says, Captain Trek says, greetings to Jeff Franklin. Ms. Lundell says, Bird of Prey. I think the Commodore is a retro ZZ Top fan, cheap sunglasses and all. Actor says, Bird of Prey, I think you should manage to make some time to see Altered Carbon, at least the first season. Actor, I do have it in my head, on my list of something to watch when I get time and am bored on Netflix. Actors is Bird of Prey. Shatner said he has no interest in making a Kirk cameo appearance. Yes, that's exactly what I'd expect him to say if he made a Kirk cameo appearance. JP says, Bird of Prey. Oh, hey, you're on my notification popped up while I was watching the Trip Pragos episode on Enterprise. Oh, that's like episode 3 or 4, isn't it? Very cool. Very cool, JPs. Give Enterprise a chance, JPs. If you haven't seen Enterprise in a long time or at all, Enterprise deserves your love. Joseph Patrick says, what is this? Well, good morning. Well, for you, early afternoon, Joseph. Yes, well, I felt so bad I couldn't do Bed Life last night. We're here with Saturday morning Dear Bops, although I didn't get to Dear Bops yet. Good morning, Joseph, or afternoon. Either way, though you might be working in your garden today, putting up lights. So I don't know. I'm glad you could stop by. I don't know how long you'll be here. Mr. Londell says, get down from there, says Montgomery Scott. Get down from there. Jeff Franklin says, Bird of Prey. Maybe Crandall Janeway is the trans character. I don't think so. It could be, but you think Janeway transitioned to a man and then took the name Crandall? But then Janeway isn't older than Picard. Rupert. She took the name Rupert Crandall. She changed her name to Rupert Crandall and aged herself. Excuse me. So she looks older than Picard. Resolute Germs says, Captain Trek doing okay. How about you? Actor says, the Joseph Bird is gifting us with an extra stream. Well, it's not really extra because I shorted you one yesterday. So we're see, people think it's extra. This is really just a makeup. Carlos is Bird of Prey. I hope the captain is Tom Baker, the 4 Doctor, and he would be great fun old actor, but that might just be me. But not a Time Lord, though, just a normal captain. I mean, it could be. I hope whoever it is, I hope they get somebody good for the cameo. I do. Who else could it be that's older than Picard? If it's somebody we know and they're older than Picard in universe, I can't imagine it being anyone else but Simon Pegg playing old Scotty. Actor says, to make up for the missing ones. Oh. Actor says, giving us a brief extra stream. Yes, to make up for the missing ones. Captain Trek is Resolute Germ doing okay. Yellow turd morning. Well, better than red turd. Resolute Germ says, prove it's not Kelvin timeline. Until then, it's Kelvin. Because Resolute Germ, you saw Picard, you saw the Enterprise D, you saw Data on the Enterprise D, you saw Riker, you saw Troy, you saw them talk about some old missions, and Vulcan was very well existed. Vulcan existed in TNG. So if Vulcan existed in TNG, it exists in Picard. Also, Vulcan exists in Discovery. Right? When did... Yeah, I think Discovery even takes place after Vulcan would have been destroyed. So I understand wanting to dismiss Discovery and Picard. And believe me, I want to dismiss Discovery too. But to just call it the Calvin timeline doesn't make any sense. There's no reason it can't be another timeline. It's been shown in Trek that there are infinite numbers of timelines. So it would just be, the Prime X timeline, the X timeline, whatever timeline, the shitty timeline, as you just call it, the shitverse. It's not the mirror. The mirror universe is just another timeline too, but it's better. Carlos says you can't see pizza if the camera is there instead. Well, I want to see the pizza. Aberjams is bird of prey, heading back to my cell for scab sausage and gangrene gravy. Amazing what you can scrape together for a rotting Klingon carcass. Have a great stream. Thank you, Aberjam. But again, you're not in Caroga. Actor says you're making me hungry, Aberjam. Oh, jeez. JP says Discovery is the crackhead timeline. Agreed. Actors lolling. Carlos says I've always said First Contact changed everything and made the Enterprise and Discovery came from that tech is more advanced because she saw the Enterprise, but Picard should be Prime. Resolute says off to breakfast. See everyone at Cinema Saturday. Very cool. Richie Bull says Altered Carbon is good. I'm almost through season 1 with season 2 on deck. Very cool. Carlos says Shatner wouldn't do a one-off cameo, but he would do a co-star role for a season. Shatner would do whatever he gets paid enough to do, or donate it to his charity, however he wants to do it. Actor says, I heard the physics professor yesterday who postulates that every time an atom radioactively decays, creates a new universe where it doesn't, because quantum and Schrodinger's work. That sounds a lot like the multiverse theory, where for every possible action, there's a new universe created. Now, I think everything eventually just comes down to subatomic decay. So it would make sense. JP says Enterprise is great, always a great rewatch. Indeed, I'm glad you enjoy it. Captain Track is now saying Dear Bop. He's the first person to say it. It's not Janeway, it's Red. Get it right. Oh, that is from the Orange is the New Black timeline. Jeff Franklin says Bird of Prey 5X. Well, we are talking about Insane Way. That is true. That is true. Carlos says Janeway has a problem with time, though. That's true also. Maybe it's future Janeway came back. Have you seen Kate Mulgrew lately? Her transitioning into a man isn't that much of a stretch. Wow. Actor says, oh, you toxic man, indeed. Cinnabon says it will be Prime Lorca. Oh, man. That would be bad. Richie Poole says if they did bring Scotty back in Picard, they would probably just kill him off, adding him to the body count. Be careful what you wish for. Well, Scotty's pretty old. He's going to die eventually. Anyway, Joseph says, my back is hurting. My dislocated discs are acting up, so I'm doing only light work today. Maybe a quick trip to the ER, but only maybe. We'll stay here. Otherwise, oh, Joseph, I'm so sorry your back is acting up to the point that you think you have to go to the ER. Certainly feel better, man. I'm glad, though, you can spend some time with us. I hope I don't cause you to be in more pain. Cinnabon says, or Burnham trying out a new male name. That could be. That could be. Richie Bull says maybe Riker's oven is actually a duplication machine. Put in one pizza, take two pizzas out. Well, that would finally make some sense. JP says I'd love to stay and hang with you guys, but I haven't slept yet and I'm going cross-eyed right now. Well, JP's get some sleep, man. Get some sleep. And Miss Londell says I thought Schrodinger's theories were disproved. Schrodinger's cat theory, like two things occupying the same, No, that's not disproved until the waveform doesn't collapse until it's observed. That's been proven. I can't imagine that was disproved. Cinnabon says, hope you feel better, Joseph. Yes, definitely. Chris Perzer says, Richie Poole, you deserve a special prize for that Janeway remark. Dear Bop, yes, Richie. Yes, Richie. Edgar says, this is officially now the most pizza-oriented Picard channel on the interwebs. And Joe Lau says, good health to Joseph. Indeed. And with that, guys, we are going to go to Dear Bop, so I'm not going to be able to read the chats. So let's open a screen. Share the screen. Opera tab. And there we go. There we go. Okay, so far we're only at 8. Hopefully we don't get too many more. We can maybe do more commenting. Dear Bop. Wait, this looks like a song. So I guess this is a way to force me to sing a song. Well, there's no music. But anyway, Dear Bop, does she love me with all her heart? Should I worry when we're apart? It's a lover's question I'd like to know. Does she need me as she pretends? Is this a game? Then will I win? Is this a game? Well, then will I win? It's a lover's question I'd like to know. I'd like to know when she's not with me, if she's still true to me. I'd like to know when we're kissing. Does she feel just what I feel? And how am I to know it's really real? Oh, tell me where's the answer lies. Is that her kiss or in her eyes? Is it in her kiss or in her eyes? It's a lover's question I'd like to know. Sincerely, Clyde McFadder. Well, if this is a song by Clyde McFadder, I've not heard of it. But if this is an actual question, and you're saying, it is a song. Thank you, Mom. It's okay. Mama Pray has confirmed it is a song. Still, if your question is the song that you'd like to know, well, let's see what the questions are. Should I worry when we're apart? Absolutely. If the woman is worth anything, there's 100 guys trying to get with her at all times. Is this a game? Well, then will I win? Depends. It depends. I can't tell if you're going to win the game, but yes, it is a game. Everything's a game. I mean, everything be broken down to a game. Whether you want to call it a game, that's your opinion. Does she feel just what I feel? No, she doesn't. Could be different, could be better, could be worse, but it's certainly not the same. And how am I to know it's really real? Well, it's real enough because I'm talking about it. Oh, tell me the answer lies. Is it in her kiss or in her eyes? It's in both. It's in both. You better be focusing on both. So good luck, and hope that helps. It's okay. There's no Dear Bop. It's an amazing piece of writing in favor of all the internet visitors. They will obtain benefit from it, I'm sure. Viagra, 130 billion. Okay, so this is spam. You really need a good webmaster. This website is loading. Loading velocity is amazing. Oh, you're really a good webmaster. This website loading velocity is amazing. It seems that you're doing a unique trick. Also, the content are masterpiece. You have performed a fantastic activity on this matter. And then some words in Russian, and it says price in Ukraine. So I'm guessing this is also spam. I don't know if anybody can read those words, but I will check the stream later if anybody has a translation. But deleting this is spam too. I might have to put some spam controls on. That'd be upsetting. Dear Bop, Bop, thanks for singing Henson's Bop for us on Monday. You did a good job, but please no more songs. A fan. Well, thank you. And that is the plan, is to certainly cut down on songs on my channel. But if somebody really wants me to sing on their channel, I will still consider that. Dear Bop, I was wondering, when is the best time of year to visit New York City? Never. Never. I want to see all the great sites like Lady Liberty and Trump Tower. Has the coronavirus spread there yet? Yes. Yes, it has. Sincerely, the best leader ever. No, really. Even better than you. I'm in charge of a real country. Vote for me 2020. Make America great again. The best time to visit New York City is never. You don't want to come here. I don't know why anybody would. But if you had to come here, considering what's going on with the virus right now, I think now is probably a bad time to come. Although, in one respect, it might be the last time you can come for a long time. I don't know. I would say summer is too hot, to be quite frank. I think summer is too hot in New York City. I would come during early fall. It's cooler, but not too cold. You know, you get temps in the 60s and 70s. That's a good day to see New York. You can go to Central Park. You can see the sights. You can go to the Statue of Liberty. You don't have to worry about ice falling off of buildings. Hopefully, you don't have to worry about, the sun baking you to death or being 99 degrees and humid as hell. And if you come at the right time, and I would strongly suggest it, maybe you start in New York City, but then you head a little north of the city and you can get to see I don't know where you're coming from, but if you're not coming from New England or a northern state, so depending on the state, you can see all the trees changing, the leaves change. It's quite a beautiful thing to see. You don't have to go far out of the city to see it. So that would be my suggestion. But I am not somebody who I'm certainly not on the payroll of New York City Board of Tourism. I would suggest going to Arizona instead. Sedona is a beautiful place. The Grand Canyon, Vegas, hell, even though it's a worse state, California, San Diego is beautiful. The desert, if you love the desert, there's Scottsdale. Hell, there's Yuma, New Mexico. Utah has beautiful places. Colorado, although Colorado is quickly becoming another California, but there are still beautiful natural things. I like to see natural wonders. I'm not as impressed with man-made wonders. But maybe because I grew up in New York and the buildings were always there, although then two weren't, which was unfortunate. But I could care less about the buildings. I want to see mountains and valleys and rivers and waterfalls. So I am not one to tell you. Upstate New York, yes, that they have those things. New York City, not so much. Dear Bop, today I went to a meeting of premature ejaculator support group. Jesus Christ. It turns out the meeting is tomorrow. So maybe you can help with my problem. I can help with your problem. But I would suggest you get a calendar or an app on your phone that has a calendar so you can at least know when their meetings are scheduled. I used to use the calendar all the time when I actually had to go out and make meetings. But now I still use a calendar for doctor's appointments and whatnots. Dear Bob, we have been monitoring your transmission for the last 50 Earth years. We recently saw your documentary, Earth Girls Are Easy, with Jeff Goldblum, and we found it quite interesting. Our invasion force or diplomatic representatives wish to discuss this because Mars needs women. Signed, Emperor Zoltar. Emperor Zoltar, on behalf of all humankind, I can trade you a number of Earth women. Most of them are in California. Some are in New York City, and we you know what, we will give you the women to take to Mars, and you know what, all we'll ask is I'd like a big rock from Mars, just any old rock. It doesn't have to be not a boulder, just whatever the biggest rock you can pick up with your hand. I'll take the rock, and you can have several million women if you're interested. Have your people get in touch with my people, Emperor Zoltar. And yes, I am, my Carogan authority does give me permission to bargain on behalf of the peoples of Earth. Dear Bop, hello, Joe. Let me be the first to welcome you to the RuPaul fan club. We look forward to your long association with us. We are all born naked, and the rest is drag. RuPaul. Much love, XOXO. Did I accidentally use the Dear Bop address for my RuPaul membership? No. Obviously, this is more fake Kurdistani propaganda. The desperate attempts of a failing regime to try and score points as the Kurdistani dictator has to fight for his election. Even he sucks so much, even as a dictator, he's not even sure he's going to win his own rigged election come this November. So he has to try to score points. Yeah. So those were the Dear Bops for today, which is fine. So we can go back to doing a few more comments before I'm out of here. Let's see, where are we? Joseph says thanks. Joe Lau says no Bob. No, definitely. I'm happy there was no Bob. And Joe Lau wants pop. Do you mean like soda? I don't know. But go get some. Actor says it's a poem, not a song, in his opinion. Well, poems can be songs. Alexander says hello, guys. Welcome, Alexander. Not crazy Alexander. Not crazy Alexander. Alexander Brooks. Actor says hi. Miss Londell says circa 1958, a doo-wop classic. Doo-wop. Okay. Joseph says the trip to the ER would only be for a ketanol shot. It's an anti-inflammatory pain reliever. Okay, Joseph. Actor says it's real because you talk about it, then Soji should be happy. If it's real because you talk about it, then Soji should be happy. Well, Soji's definitely real. I mean, somebody should have just told her, oh, you're real. You're real if I can touch it. It's real. Just doesn't mean she's human, but doesn't mean she's not real. Agnes is a shot in the butt or the spine. Oh, either way, it's not good. They still do shots in the butt. Richie Poole says Arizona is awesome. It is. Joseph says we have one family down with corona. Son was in Italy but has no symptoms. Mom and dad only light symptoms, but panic is in the country. Ministry of Interior is sending SMS and spreading the fear. Oof. Yeah, they are not going about managing this panic very well. Alexander says all the Californians are moving to my town, Bend, Oregon. Yeah. Californians leaving California for Oregon, for Texas, for Colorado. It's going to be, although from what I hear, Oregon was pretty, at least from Portland, was pretty close to California's way of thinking already. Address is Joseph, just like in my country, a guy from Italy, now 2 cases. Joe Lau says Boobsmont, Montana. Alexander says they're turning it into Little Palo Alto. Actress is Joseph, already with the symptoms when he arrived, so all the people in first class on that plane. Jeez. Top film, says Carlo. Joseph says airport on lockdown, ? Actress says, nah, that would be going too far. I don't know. Carlos says, are you going to be on later? Yes, we're doing Saturday cinema, like around 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. So I will not be on much longer. Have to eat lunch and get some stuff done today. Oh, by the way, for Cinema Saturday, today is Ghostbusters. So have your copy of Ghostbusters 1985, the original Ghostbusters movie, the 1985 Ghostbusters movie, Ghostbusters 1. Have it ready. So if you want to watch, because that's going to, I'll have pictures on the screen, screenshots on the screen like usual, but, there's not going to be the screening room because I can't do it with movies. They're too big. So have your own copy. Now, next week, because I didn't get it up in time, next week is going to be Demolition Man. So that be interesting. If you want to watch Demolition Man, that'll be next week. But the week after, just this morning, I put the poll up finally on BertoPray5.com. So go to BertoPray5.com at your soonest convenience. And I picked, 10 random movies or something. Let me see how many. Nope, wrong window. So there's a poll on BertoPray5.com right now for next week is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 random movies. Austin Powers, Back to the Future, Captain Ron, Idiocracy, Judge Dredd, My Cousin Vinny, National Lampoon's Vacation, the original from 1983, Office Space, The Goonies, and The Three Amigos. So you guys can vote. Now the poll closes on March 14th, which is next week when we'll be watching Demolition Man. So everybody will have a week's notice to get the movie in question. So that's the thing. We're going to decide each movie the week before. So that's why this poll is for March 21st, but it closes March 14th. So between now and March 14th, vote for your favorite. And then I will tell you guys, I will show you on next week whatever the winner is and so we'll know the one for the following week. I have no idea who's going to win. I'm okay with any of these movies, obviously. And what I'll do is if a movie gets, comes in second or third place, I will probably carry those movies over to the following week. But if a movie is getting 0 or no votes, and then I will probably drop it for a few weeks, and we'll figure out some way so that the movies people want to see more get more chances, and movies that nobody seems to care about won't show up in poll after poll after poll. Now this one I did on my website because I wasn't thinking. After this, the poll might move to YouTube. My YouTube community allows me to do a poll right on YouTube, so we might change it to there. But for this first week anyway, you can get to it on BertoPray5.com. So yeah, that's that's where we are. So Ghostbusters today. Hopefully you have your own copy or can find it somewhere, streaming or something. And then Demolition Man, which will be interesting for the following week. Joseph says you must have deleted some messages, missing at least one. I didn't delete, Joseph. I might have skipped. I just I thought I saw Richie Poole yell "Dear Bop." Let's see. Carlos says any fancy pizza or a Dear Bop. Joe Lau says good health to Joseph. Actor says it's officially now the most pizza oriented. Okay, so I read that. Joe Lau says no Bob. I want to poop. Poem. Hello guys. It's possible that one chat didn't come through, Joseph. It's possible I skipped it. But if you know what it says, just let me know because I don't have any way of seeing which it was. Carlos says, I hope she would let me touch it. Miss Lindell says Californians are leaving California for anywhere else and bringing the mindset that caused them to leave California with them. Yeah, well, that's a problem everywhere. Shronmore says, greetings, Berto Pray, Mo Pray, and fellow nerds. Greetings, Shronmore. Joseph says, since Narek banged Soji, doesn't mean she is a sophisticated sex doll. No, she's not a sex doll. She is a sentient life form, even if she is synthetic. Richie Poole says Kristen Cinema Saturday, AOC Sunday. No. Joseph says it's on Netflix, at least in Europe. Very cool. Shromor says greetings to Sassy, chaser of cats, eater of cookies, stalker of cardinals, defiler of cushions, and scourge of the squirrels. Sassy is not a scourge. Chris Perzer says great choice, Bird. No wonder you're our wise Carogan leader. Thank you, Chris. In college, when I was president of my fraternity, and each year we'd compete in the Rube Goldberg contest, which I'm assuming most of you know who Rube Goldberg is. So it was a contest where you had to make a Rube Goldberg machine, and every year there was a task. And every year, basically, the chapter would generally vote on what the theme of the machine would be, because people would come up with these themes. Like we had like our most famous machine from our chapter, which unfortunately was a year before I got there, was Gilligan's Island. And it was a beautiful machine that was shaped like a television, but it's 6 foot by 6 foot by 6 foot cube. And it's made of plywood and stuff. And it's like turning so that you can watch everything that happens on the machine through the front that's shaped like a television. And you can see what's going on, even though it's all mechanical. And it won first place. It got them on a bunch of news shows. It got a lot of publicity for the department and for the fraternity. Everybody was really happy. Then we had a few years where we weren't really winning much until I became president, which is technically regent, and people were coming with their ideas, and I said, nope, we're going to do The Simpsons. They're like, no, we vote on it. I was like, no, we could vote on it, but I've decided we're going to do The Simpsons. And like a few people were pissed, but we did The Simpsons. It was the best machine that we had done in several years, and we actually did win a prize. Now, it wasn't first prize, it was People's Choice, but at least we came back with a trophy, and nobody has come back with one since. So I make no apologies for unilaterally deciding The Simpsons was our choice for the Rube Goldberg machine in, I guess it was 1999 or 1998 contest. I guess it was 1999 Rube Goldberg. The Simpsons, we placed. And that's all because of the theme, because the machine, it failed. It failed a couple of times. Now we have a very tough ride. I mean, some of the teams were literally on the same campus because it was held at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. And so some of the teams were either on the same campus or within a few hours drive. We had to rent a van, pack everything into a U-Haul trailer, drive 14 or 16 hours there, and then look at the machine and put it all back together in the parking lot of our motel the night before. And then, it took a beating. It took a beating driving there. So that's why the machine almost never worked right once we got there. Carlos says, get a kip. Do not fall asleep in the middle of Ghostbusters or I'll unsub for a day or an hour. Nah, that's just too much work. I'll just laugh. Yeah, okay. I'm going to really try not to fall asleep in the middle of Ghostbusters. Actors says, Carogan Ghostbusters break and scorch all your things, charge you for it, and expect you to be thankful. Well, I think that's all Ghostbusters. Richie Poole says, is Dark Star on your list, Bird? It is not on my immediate list, Richie Poole. Joseph says, Demolition Man 3 shells. Need to sail the high seas for that one. Yes, it's the 3 shells. I'm sure. I would imagine it's streaming somewhere. Chris Berzer says, Joseph, nice reminder. Ghostbusters is available on Netflix Canada too. Very cool. Very cool. Richie Poole says, Vacation. Yes, the original National Lampoon's Vacation. Joseph says, Back to the Future. Well, you guys vote. Vote. Carlos says he'll probably cheat. I'm not cheating. I will. You guys will be able to see the results of the vote right live on the screen. I do. What I will do is I will have the power to break a tie. I will have the power to break a tie. That's what any executive rules for parliamentary procedure. That's something the executive holds. Actors is a direct poll binding. No delegates or super delegates and all that poop you Yanks like so much. No delegates or super delegates. Maybe I should do an electoral college to make polls from different countries count more than others. But no, we're just doing a simple and direct poll for now. And certainly when we get it to YouTube, that'll definitely be the way. But for this week, it's on my website. Carlos says, wow, Hector, brute honesty. Yes. Richie Poole says, yes, Bird, start using your YouTube community tab for polls. Definitely will. Joseph says, I meant bop message. Oh, I missed a bop message? Oh, it didn't come. I'm sorry. It's just not there, Joseph. I deeply apologize, but it's not. Could it possibly be in the spam box? Trash. Let's see. Okay, no. Maybe I accidentally deleted it. Let me check the trash. Is that it? No, that's junk. That's Viagra. Let's see. Walgreens CBD oil. No. Benefits of CBD oil. No, Joseph. It could be a very rare condition where the email didn't make it through. I apologize. I hope it wasn't too long of a message. I assume you submitted a message, but that's all I got. Although, I am kind of curious at how I only had 8 messages. So maybe I better go check and make sure it's working. I'm on BirdoPray5.com right now. Dear Bop. Hello, Bop. This is a test from Bop 5X. Let's see. Okay, and let's see if it comes through. Let's see if it comes through. It did. It came through. So it seems like it's still working. Okay. So I don't know what the problem could have been, Joseph, but my deep apologies if it did not come through. Shromore says, Joseph, if Bird of Prey 5X doesn't pick Back to the Future, we can always use the DeLorean to go back in time and change the results. What could go wrong? Agnes says, Back to the Future was in my Netflix, not anymore. I'm sure Ghostbusters was, not anymore. Son of a bitch. Oh, man. I'm sorry. Carlos says, she's a sex doll that can say no. Joseph's problem is he did not put Back to the Future on the list. I did. Back to the Future is on the list. It is certainly on the list. Son of a bitch, it's not on the list. No, it is. It's the second one. It's below Austin Powers, Back to the Future, 1985. It is. And so also, guys, what I figured I'd do for movies like Back to the Future and, well, now Ghostbusters and movies that have sequels, the Vacation, National Lampoon Vacation series, is that once we watch something like let's say you guys pick Back to the Future for next week or the following week. Let's say Back to the Future wins. Then the next poll after Back to the Future wins, I'll replace Back to the Future with Back to the Future 2 and so on. So, we can do things like that. I'm not going to skip ahead. Like we won't watch 2, then we won't watch 3, then 2, but that'll be the first thing. If one movie of a series wins, then that spot will go to the next movie in the series. Well, at least for the week. And then if it gets no votes, it could drop off. Richie Pools says, Shromore, you need to add bunny corns to Sassy's list of animal enemies. Epic Beer says, what's this Bop and a sex? What is this about Bop and a sex doll? That people think Soji is just a fancy sex doll. Andreas T says, hail Bird of Prey. Friday wasn't the same without bed life. And dear Bob, hope you are well. Hail Caroga. Thank you, Andreas. I do apologize. I was working till after 9 p.m. on my Picard review. It just took so long. At the beginning of the stream, I explained just why it took so long, if you're that interested. But, the mailman's about to come, so Sassy's going to bark, I bet. But it was a rough day, and by the time I finished, it was too late to start streaming. But thank you, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing this stream. And then I'll be streaming again in just a few hours for Cinema Saturday. Chris Berger says, Joseph, but Back to the Future is the March 21st poll. Yes. Well, that's the first poll. Because next week is Demolition Man. But we will have the answer. For next week, we'll know what the week after is. Whoever wins this poll will know that a week from today. And then there'll be a new poll for the following week. So if Back to the Future wins the poll, a week from today when we do Cinema Saturday, and before the movie, I'll check the poll and see what the following week will be. If it's Back to the Future, then in the next poll that I put out later that day, we'll put Back to the Future 2. Actor says, the Epic Beard, did somebody should tell Soji she's real. It's real if you can touch it. Exactly. It's like with breasts. Are they real? They're real enough if you can touch it. Joseph says, it is. Is it perfect? Yes, it is, Joseph. It's the second one. I know democracy is hard, but it's there. I even missed it myself. Chris Berger says, Joseph, I double checked. Yes, it's still there. That would be the Russian bots if they were removing. The Russians are interfering with the Carogan elections. Epic Beards is kind of like supernovas are not real. Got it. Joseph has already voted on my mobile. Glasses downstairs. Sorry for the confusion. No problem. Carlos has told you he'd cheat. I'm not cheating. Abix's bird is cheating, par for the course. Joe Lau says Ghostbusters 1984 is on Netflix, so ready to start, bird. Very cool. Very cool. Although I thought it was 1985. Carlos says he even cheated on voting for an official election. Abix says, wait, bird is... No, I'm not buying Viagra's. Richie Pools is Bird of Prey. Please let Mama Prey know that Derek turns 10 years old on March 21st. Oh, that will be something. We're 2 weeks. 2 weeks till he turns 10. Double digits, Derek. Double digits. It's big time, buddy.
Wow. Can I speak?
Yeah, sure. Come on. Mama. Yeah, well, it's easier. People will hear you better if you speak over here.
Hi, guys. I had to break in when I heard the date of Derek's birthday, Richard. A very good friend of mine who unfortunately passed away just a few months ago. His birthday was March 21st. So I will always remember Derek's birthday now. And I wish him a very happy birthday. But I'm sure we'll speak before then. And I was about to watch a video you put up, I think, yesterday, but I didn't get to it yet. Okay, guys, sorry to interrupt.
No problem. No problem, Mama Pray. They always are happy to hear from you. I gotcha. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for today. It for now. I'll be back for Cinema Saturday, which I guess we'll do on the main Bird of Prey 5 channel. Yeah, that'll be it. I'm thinking probably around 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Though, give me a half hour plus or minus. So take care, all. Have a good day. See you guys later. And thanks for all the dear bops. You're welcome, Richie. Aberjam says Picard threw the ballad of the supernova down the chimney. Wow. Chris Perzer says all the best, Mount Prey. Epic Beard says maybe Viagra is the post-buying mode. Yeah, Jesus. Joseph says talk to you later. Kapla, kapla. And Carlos says have fun. I hope I can catch you later. Me too. Me too. Joe Lau says later, bird. Later, Joe Lau. Kapla all. If I didn't get your message, it's because StreamYard is slow at delivering them. Talk to you later. Take care. Sassy, say goodbye. Woo! She looked. She looked. End broadcast.